What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Sitting across from me this week and every week, he totally exists. It's Dezrah.
Hi. I do?
Me too.
I'm a real boy! Yay! And sitting across from me is Brian Paul.
Merry Christmas, you guys.
Oh, that's right!
It's totally Christmas
Day!
today.
Yes!
Right? Don't you have like a wife and kids and stuff? Isn't there someplace else you should be?
Holy crap.
Your family's gonna be like real upset with you.
Well, I'm here anyway, so might as well.
Well, if you're gonna stick around,
Yeah.
I guess I will too.
So, yeah,
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Obviously not all of you celebrate Christmas. That's cool. We're kind of, but this is kind of a big day for us. This is our Christmas episode. Like, we have an actual legitimate Christmas episode. This is great.
Should we go caroling?
No. We already have issues with us singing.
Should we open presents?
That'd be great.
Eggnog?
No, oh god, I didn't do eggnog.
All right.
But we do have special guest Bill Bixby. No.
There's no one else here.
Yeah, and he's been dead for like 15 years. So.
It's a very lonely Christmas around here at the Without Parole Studios.
Yeah.
There's no one else here.
But
It's
actually,
just us. But we came into the studio today to film for you because we would hate for you to not have something to watch just because people are opening presents somewhere.
and not only that, this episode is kind of to someone special. Okay, the rest of our audience, you're more than welcome to watch this, but we're kind of thinking of a certain person. We're thinking for someone whose life is a little less lonely today because
Jimmy, come on in. Poor Jimmy.
No, poor Jimmy.
Poor Jimmy. His life is so lonely. No,
We're talking to those of you who opened up your packages this Christmas morning and got a PSVR.
Boy,
Yay!
you're already having a better Christmas than we are.
Seriously, welcome to the family, folks.
Absolutely.
We wanted to put
the family.
We wanted to put this together to tell you guys about, let's start off with some trips. Start off with some tips and tricks, things you should know about. Wow.
Do I have to edit all this out?
Oh my
Start the
God.
whole sentence over.
All right, so we wanted to put this together for those of you who are just getting your PSVR for the first time. We want to tell you some tips and tricks that they don't necessarily tell you about in the manual, and then talk about some games that you pretty much have to get to start off with.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying that if you've been watching the channel, then you're fully aware at this point that like the day I got my PlayStation VR, and trust me, it was way more expensive than the one you just got.
Yeah.
Trust me, way more expensive.
You lucky bastards.
And so were all the games that you just got on sale for like half price.
But we're not bitter.
No, not even a little bit. I'm coming to your house and stealing your PlayStation VR. It was like the greatest day of my life. Like, I've had a lot of great gaming moments in my past, but the day I put that PlayStation VR headset on my face for the first time was one of the greatest. So thank you for being part of our community. Thank you for being part of the PlayStation VR community. And to reward you, we're going to play footsies underneath the table. We want to talk about some of our favorite experiences and some. Let's tell little Jimmy there, who just got a PlayStation VR, the first things he should be doing.
So first of all, pay attention to what they're telling you when you get it set up.
Yeah.
Calibrate the lights and all that, but you're smart. You can figure that part out. There's a couple things they don't tell you about, though. Number one, this is really kind of important, and I guess I can see why they don't tell you right off the bat, because it's a little wonky, but adjust the eye distance.
Yeah.
So there is, if you look under the system settings for your the PSVR headset, there's a adjust eye distance, and what you have to do is basically walk up to the camera. It's going to take a picture of your face, and you're going to have to line up some crosshairs, because it turns out not everyone's face is the same width. Imagine that. And when you're setting up a game that's basically is projecting two different images to your eyes, it's going to look a lot better if they're calibrated properly to the correct eye. So,
right, and so if you put that thing on, when you haphazardly dash through the setup process, you might feel a little bit motion sick if it's projecting images in the wrong places.
Right.
So definitely for your own safety, for your own sanity, definitely make sure you do that first.
And another one, kind of in that, they do say this in the setup, but take it seriously. Just make small adjustments of where it says, because wherever you just drop it on your head, that may not necessarily be the right place. For some reason, I don't know, maybe my face is set up. I've noticed. I put the.
I've been meaning to tell you this about your face.
Very early, my left eye is way over here.
It's slightly lopsided.
No, but seriously, like, I have to actually take the headset and move it just a little bit to the left.
Interesting, because I have something similar. My head is also lopsided. Okay. So I put it on and it's like perfectly positioned.
Yeah.
and to make sure my right eye can see perfectly, I have to kind of tilt the whole thing like 1 degree to the left. And once it's on your head and you've got it adjusted, you don't feel that 1 degree difference.
No.
But it's every single time. Yep. I plop it on and then go boom.
Yeah,
and it's perfect.
I have to go over to the right a little. So
you'll find your sweet spot. And so many times, like, people put it on their head and they're constantly adjusting it for like the first 5 minutes.
Yep.
But once you get used to putting that thing on your head, you'll have it down to a science, and you'll know exactly where you need to put it.
Number 2, check your lights. The PSVR operates on a light tracking system. So you'll notice there's the 4 lights in the front and blah, 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 blah. If you have a really bright light source behind you, like I know in my house, I have one of those standing lamps. And if that is on, it is not happy. Like I'll notice, whatever object I'm holding, whatever game, suddenly just shoots up 6 feet, or more often than not, just starts doing this weird chase down in front of me. So, kill the light there. Hey, it's Christmas. You're going to have your Christmas tree. Try to make sure it's not behind you, because all those red and green and different colored lights, they're not going to be... they're not going to help things.
Yeah, Michelle's having that issue right now. So ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Also, I have a huge window in view of my PlayStation camera. So when the PlayStation camera turns on and you can see yourself sitting there on the couch, behind me is this huge window. Well, guess what reflects in Windows in that move controllers and headset lights. So you see the camera is seeing 2 move controllers. I'm lucky enough to have that entire window being able to cover. It's covered with vertical blinds.
Okay.
So I just shut those real quick.
Yep.
Or they're already closed. Let's be honest. I don't like natural light, so they're usually closed at all times. So keep an eye out for mirrors, windows, any reflective surface really, because it can screw with it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're being like real harsh on these things. I think like 90% of the people out there are going to start up the PSVR, throw it on, and have no problems. But this is just in case you are having any problems. We don't want to make anyone think that like it's such a finicky piece of hardware.
Yeah, no, it's not at all. It's just this is for the people like, hey, weird thing is this is a piece of crap. What's going on? No, for your corner case people, these are things you want to check out. Yeah. So another one. This is another little knacky thing. Set your camera higher than you might think you need it.
Yep.
We've discovered with some of the games, especially some of the games I'm going to be talking about, put that a little higher than normal.
I had mine at like if you were standing there, it was at 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
It was like basically eye level, and I actually found that another foot higher was even better. It's especially good for games with move controls where you're swinging your arms, and you just want to make sure that that camera captures your full range of movement. And
that's another tip. If you didn't get the move controllers with your set, get the move controllers.
And that's a hard one. That's a hard sell for people who haven't used them, because this move controller tech is 7 years old, maybe almost 8 now. But trust us, it works perfectly with VR for the most part.
And the last one is, they tell you this. Every game you play is going to tell you this. You're going to get sick of hearing this, and you're going to get sick of us saying it. Make sure you have enough space. I cannot tell you the number of times I've smashed my knuckles into things. I've hit my cat once. I've heard horrible things happening on the other end. I was playing Spark against somebody, and I heard them tear their ceiling fan out of the ceiling. Yeah, and
I don't mean to laugh at you, kind sir, but it's kind of funny.
So seriously, if you just like stand in a circle and wave your hands off like this and think, oh, I have room, no, that's not enough room.
No. And there's a ton of games that you sit down on a couch and you use your DualShock and you don't have to worry about any of this stuff.
That's true.
But with move controls, make sure you have room. The number of times I've punched my Sega Saturn collection, which is depreciating in value the more I play PSVR. Poor Panzer Dragoon Saga used to be worth $600. It's probably down to about $150. It's just like shattered pieces of CDs.
All right, so now that we have those out of the way, so let's talk about, okay, you just got this shiny new PSVR. What are you going to play with it?
Well, now we definitely want to make sure you have a good collection of games. But we also want to make sure that every single time, it's just better safe than sorry, every single time you start up one of these games that we're about to talk about, just reset your console, right? Every time your PS4 goes into rest mode, it does something wonky to the VR headset. Something about the breakout box, something about the way it all works together. You can just kind of tell that the PlayStation 4 wasn't designed with VR in mind. Right? Yeah. That's why that extra breakout box is required. That's why you've got like cables running up and down your living room.
Yeah.
Right? All this different stuff. Sometimes your head tracking and your move tracking is just going to be bonkers, off the wall, terrible.
Yeah.
just reset your console to either, and if that doesn't work, just turn it all the way off, right? But putting it into rest mode, bad idea. Okay, reset your console between every single game. But so what's the first game you are going to recommend for little Jimmy who just got PlayStation VR for Christmas?
So I'm racking my brain what am I going to recommend? So I'm doing a couple things. One, my favorite games. Two, games that you should have for other reasons. So number one, Spark. It is. I mean, it is the holodeck. It is what I always imagined. What I always wanted from a video game, and I didn't realize I wanted from a video game. For those of you who don't know, it's a one-on-one. Let's just call it dodgeball.
Sure.
Yeah, it's kind of that. But you're in one-on-one, sort of like a racquetball. You can bounce the ball off the walls. There's energy shields. Look, we did a whole episode on this, episode 103. Go check that out. But Spark absolutely is what you should be playing with the PSVR.
Yeah, Spark's one of those games that looks real boring until you try it for yourself.
Yeah, just like VR itself, honestly.
Absolutely, and also this is also gonna bring up something else that I guess we should probably tell people about. I mean, keep a towel handy. Because you're gonna sweat in Spark.
Yes.
I'm notorious for playing Spark in my boxer shorts in the middle of the night with a fan on.
Yep.
I mean, like,
but with shoes on.
With shoes, because you're going to slip and fall in your own sweat if you play barefoot.
We look ridiculous, but it's so much fun.
Yeah, luckily no one else can see you. We all look like we're very trim and fit and like no sweat to be found because our avatars look stunning.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. So Spark, try it before you judge it. This is a fantastic game.
Yep.
If I had more time in my life, I'd probably still be playing it daily.
Yeah. No, definitely this is a must-sell. I must buy.
Must buy. I'm going to get one of my obvious ones out of the way first, because I've talked on this channel ad nauseum for the better part of a year about Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Now, if you like scary games at all, if you like scary movies at all, if you like Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, Code Veronica, or maybe 4, if you like any of those things I just listed, you need to play this game. This is, for me, it was like...
What if I like the Biohazard games?
Well, you're in luck. This is actually called Resident Evil 7, Biohazard. I mean, not even... Like, the core game itself is like the scariest... I mean, you can probably beat it in 9 hours. It was the scariest 12 hours of my life. Like, I hesitated before I opened every single door. Every step I took, I was looking around. I was wondering if anybody heard me. It is just one of those games that is still one of the best looking VR games.
Yep.
Very, very convincing environments. If you want to show your friends just what the graphical capabilities of your brand new headset are, headset is, this is the game you want to show them, because it's stunning. And actually the DLC, the free DLC, Not a Hero, where you play as Chris Redfield, a little more action oriented, that is out. And if you want to play as Joe Baker, apparently a boxer of some kind, man, you get to punch some bad guys right in the face. That's
okay.
By the season pass. There's a lot of good DLC. Yeah, Resident Evil, it's the scariest thing I've ever done. It's one of my top favorite games of all time in VR. Kind of boring outside of it. Don't tell Capcom I said that. But this is a must-have game. Hands down, one of the best reasons to own a PlayStation VR.
Yeah, and we've got a whole episode and a review of that as well.
Yeah, we talk a lot about Resident Evil 7 on this channel.
So my next up, this is one of, kind of echoing what you just said, one of my favorite gaming experiences of all time. And, you know, I'm going to say this, and if you've played it already in other versions, you're going to say, why am I going to drop another $60 on playing this game again?
I wonder what he's going to say.
Freaking Skyrim. Okay, Skyrim in VR is amazing. I played the original Skyrim so much, I was kind of sick to death of it. I wasn't really excited about the VR version coming out. I was like, okay, I'll play it for the channel, but, you know, I've played it a lot. It's a whole other experience. This is absolutely amazing. So yeah, Skyrim. We did 2 episodes on this very recently, so just go back in the feed and check that out. 114, 115. Yeah, Skyrim.
I'm going to add just a little blurb.
Skyrim.
Even though we've probably said it repeatedly on episode 114, 115.
Yeah.
To drop into VR and then suddenly discover an open world. This was the first time we've discovered this. It was the first time we get to experience this in VR.
Yeah.
and it was just mind-boggling. The first time I stepped out of a cave, and I was just like, oh, I'm on the side of a mountain, and I can just go anywhere and do anything. And I've got this character that is blank, and I get to create him in any fashion that I desire. And I've never been much of a fantasy guy. Again, I'm just repeating myself ad nauseum, but never been much of a fantasy guy. But walking around the countryside, killing everything that comes my way with fire and ice that comes out of my hands.
Yeah,
just it's phenomenal.
You know, this and this kind of brings me to a larger point we should have made earlier. You're getting this at a great time.
Oh yeah.
You know, when we first started with the PSVR, there weren't a lot of choices out there. The idea of like a 100-hour game was fictional. I mean, it just wasn't ever going to happen. And now here you are on day one. You have a game that you can play for the next 2 months and be totally satisfied.
Lucky for us and lucky for little Jimmy, he got the Skyrim bundle.
Yes.
I have a feeling that's what like 99% of the PlayStation VR bundles.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah,
all right. You can still play Skyrim.
I'm happy for you, Jimmy.
Oh, we're very happy for you, Jimmy.
Or Jamie.
Maybe
There's Jamie out there. All right, back to you.
So Des recommended a great multiplayer game, Spark. There's nothing, but unfortunately, once the online servers, once people stop playing Spark, right, there's nothing left to do in that game. Luckily for Spark, just to add a little bit of value to that. The Vive and Oculus are both playing that game now. Yep. It's cross-play. Yay. So hopefully there'll be a lot of people playing that game for quite a while.
I've noticed actually a jump. Yeah,
nice.
I can hop on the daytime and actually get some good matches going.
But there's just very little to do on your own outside of like a few like challenges. Yeah. The next game I'm going to recommend has a great online component, but also has a great single-player component, and that's Farpoint. Now, Farpoint is
I'm on a ship, a living ship.
Farpoint is a first-person shooter that actually got bundled with its own controller. Now, you might have seen these controllers going for ridiculous prices online. Hopefully, they've come down in price by now. But basically, it's a gun that you hold in your hand. It's a two-handed, very generic-looking piece of hardware.
It looks a little dumb.
It looks really dumb. It looks like somebody threw together some PVC piping and then added some DualShock.
It really does.
In a big glowing reindeer nose at the end of it.
But guys, that's just a prototype. No.
Oh, we shipped it. Oh. we made millions of them and then we shipped it.
Okay.
Yeah. So what the great thing about Farpoint is that it's one of the few games that supports it perfectly, so that when you have your hands on that gun and you look down at it in VR, everything you're doing with that gun is one-to-one, and it just feels good. Your hands are even placed where your hands would be really in the gun. So the level of immersion just takes it to another level right there. Now, so Farpoint has a solid, I want to call it like a 5 or 6 hour story, depending on how good you are at it. I know a lot of people out there are still stuck on the first boss, Michelle and Jeremy. It's ridiculously fun, and the story's pretty decent, so it's a good time single player. But the great thing about this is that Impulse Gear, the developers, man, these people are committed to their game, right? One of the first things they did was, they added 2-player co-op modes, so you could go online and with a buddy, and you could like go through all of these maps and clear them out with a friend.
Yep.
Awesome. So much fun. And then just about a month ago, doing quick math, they finally gave us 1v1 PvP.
And how much extra did I have to pay for that, Brian?
All of this is free.
Awesome.
It's the best deal going. And to give yourself another reason to drop into VR with that aim controller, because some of the other games that have supported the aim controller so far, they haven't implemented it quite as well.
Yeah.
But I will say that this implements it perfectly. It actually justifies the purchase of an aim controller for me. And if you can just get the bundle, then even better. 1v1 doesn't sound particularly exciting until you realize you can go to all these like spawn points and use points to generate like a little army that's going to fight for you. And then suddenly you're just like sending drones like to go attack the other guy, and you're hiding. It's a lot of fun. I'm really bad at it, as I found out, but it's an absolute blast.
Yep. So I had my heart broken by having to keep this just to 3, because there are 2 games I absolutely wanted to talk about, but I'm gonna make the cut. You get a shiny new toy, okay? One of my biggest joys in life is just, I like this thing, I want to share it with you, right? And so you get a shiny new toy.
I know both games that
Yeah.
he wants to talk about, and I'm curious to know which one you chose.
Yeah. And you've got friends and family coming over, and they're going to want to try it out. And you know what? Not everyone is going to want to play Resident Evil 7. All right.
People suck.
Right off the bat. Little cousin, Jimmy, your little cousin Jamie, maybe she's not ready for Resident Evil 7. But there's a game that's tons of fun, really hilarious, I think.
Damn it.
Shows off VR, and lets basically anyone play, and that's Job Simulator.
Yeah.
It's we did a whole episode on episode 92.
All right.
You basically the whole idea is you're robots far in the future, humanity is gone or whatever, and you're trying to recreate what it was like to be a human working at their job. And of course, it's the idea of what the past was funneled through centuries of people not knowing what jobs were. So it doesn't do it justice. Basically, you're in this world. You can go into a cubicle and just throw stuff around, smash your hands against a keyboard. It's so much fun, and like I said, family friendly, but also really funny and entertaining. And you pretty much have to pick this up.
So we've talked about this quite a bit, but it's worth reiterating for anybody new. You'll discover very quickly that the greatest times you can have in VR are some of the simplest.
Yeah.
To take those move controllers and just start grabbing things in the environment, manipulating them, and then throwing them at people. And it's oddly satisfying.
Yeah. And honestly, too, this isn't a multiplayer game by any stretch of the imagination, but I will say it is much more fun with other people in the room.
Yeah.
Just having them, watching them, throwing you suggestions, laughing back and forth, taking turns like, oh, I want to do, what can I do in this place? So it's definitely, if you want to have people over and have a bunch of people playing with the VR system, you can't go wrong with Job Simulator.
Right. We mentioned how Resident Evil 7 takes the graphics to a new level. But that was their attempt at realism.
Yeah.
With Job Simulator, they really nailed that cartoon aesthetic so that the resolution is really sharp and everything's colorful and bright, and even though it's a cartoony world, I mean the number of times I've tried to lean on a desk that doesn't exist. Yep. You'd be surprised.
Or put the move controllers down because they have to go talk to somebody.
Or
show someone something. That was my big thing. And also, hey, talking about free DLC, just recently we got the Infinite Overtime.
That's right.
DLC, which does procedurally generated jobs for all these. So, again, you are getting this at the right time.
Yeah, and Job Simulator is now even cheaper than it was before. So, great value, Jimmy. In the last game I'm going to bring up, and here's the thing, we definitely wanted to make this more than our favorite games. We wanted to make this more than just hey, it's a top 10 list.
Yep.
We wanted to talk about games that would bring you unique experiences. If you just bought our favorite games, well then I would just be telling you about scary games.
And you can go check out our top 10 episode from October.
Exactly, which is terribly outdated now. Time for a new top 10 list. But so one of the unique experiences that I wanted to talk about a little bit is Windlands. Now, Windlands is amazing because so many games at launch, especially PSVR, were so scared about making us motion sick. So many developers were like, we're going to use quick turning, we're going to use teleportation for movement, we're going to who knows, right? We're going to put blinders on you. But these guys, they took a different route. They were we just don't care.
Yeah.
In fact, if you do get motion sick, they gave you a bunch of options, and some of them do kind of help. But this, with no comfort settings on whatsoever, you can walk out into this world, and it's a bright, colorful, almost Minecraft-y looking world, right? Very cartoony, very colorful, beautiful. And then the second you hit that X button to jump, your stomach drops. You're like, whoa! And the whole way down, at the peak of your jump, you're like, holy crap! And then your whole way down, you're like, oh no! It's. I watched Jeremy King play this for the first time recently, and just sitting there on the sidelines watching him do it was unbelievable. I had so much fun watching him play. It was more because he would walk up to a ledge and he'd be like, I don't know. I'm like, get a running jump. He's like, are you kidding me? Now, I didn't even talk about the best part of this game yet, and that's that it lets you be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right? You can use the move controls or the DualShock 4. It's the same story as everything else. When you're walking around with move controls, it takes some time to get used to, but it's worth getting used to them.
Yeah.
If you want to dive right in and use the DualShock 4, you'll be very happy. But but you get to be Spider-Man. You get to jump up, shoot a web, and then swing. And you do it with both hands. And once you get the rhythm down, man, you're just flying all around this world.
And vomiting everywhere.
And vomiting everywhere. I mean, for a guy like me who doesn't get motion sick, it does the roller coaster thing to my stomach where I'm like, whoa. It's like bungee jumping in VR. It's amazing. It's an amazing sensation. It's very convincing, again, for a cartoon world. It's crazy. But highly recommended. And there's no enemies in this game. It's just this big world for you to explore, and there are things for you to find. But like, if you're looking to shoot stuff, this isn't your game. This is a game for people who like extreme sports, who like to challenge themselves, who like to just discover things.
Yeah.
And man, I discovered I really like this game, and there's a sequel coming too. So blast through this one before the multiplayer sequel comes out next year.
Okay, so that is 6.
Can you just say the name of the other game you wanted?
I was Super Hot. Oh my God, Super Hot.
Super Hot is so good.
Yeah,
Super Hot, so good.
I was trying to keep this stage
Super Hot. It's so good. Get 2 move controllers. Time only moves when you do. Shoot bad guys. It's so much fun.
Yeah, if you want to be Jackie Chan, or in our review on episode 92, we had a special guest, Anthony, come in, who's a professional stuntman, and we agreed this is like a stunt simulator. Like, you just find the best way to fight your way through waves of enemies, grabbing guns out of the sky, shooting this guy. Oh, yeah. Just super hot.
You get to feel like Neo in the Matrix. Like, that is the closest approximation I could probably give you.
The only reason I picked Job Simulator instead of Super Hot was just because Job Simulator, that's kind of for everybody. You'll have some people in your life who are like, I don't want to do a gun game, So, and that's cool. But Super Hot, oh my God. Okay.
So that's kind of it for our Christmas episode.
Super
hot. Listen, we're always curious to know like what our audience is thinking, what our audience is doing at any given point. So,
within reason, I don't want to know everything that you're doing.
I, however, would like to know everything. So, in the
got his email, folks.
In the comments below, please tell us if you are like Jimmy or little Jamie and you got a PlayStation VR for Christmas. Are you exploring VR for the first time? Did you just get a bunch of VR games for Christmas? What's your Christmas deal? Hey, if you don't celebrate Christmas, what games are you playing? Did
anyone get a PSVR for Hanukkah? That would be a baller. That's a baller move.
Right on. Aren't there like how many days in Hanukkah?
8.
8. So you got like eight presents,
depending on your tradition, but sure.
So like you say, maybe you get like the headset one day, and you get like one move control the next day, one the next.
My Jewish friends tend to say like it's usually like a series of smaller gifts rather than like we just get this one big wallop.
Wow,
so
crazy.
Yeah,
good stuff. Yeah, I mean whatever you celebrate, it doesn't matter.
We thank you for celebrating it with us.
We're non-denominational.
Oh my God, beyond belief.
Yeah.
We're non-denominational beyond belief, huh?
That's actually very funny of you.
Okay. I'm clever.
Dez is the witty one. Again, but yeah, thank you. Like we came into the studio, we really felt like we didn't want Christmas to go by without an episode. We didn't want to just like leave you high and dry, and we wanted to really celebrate this awesome time with you, and not the holiday, but the receiving of presents.
Yeah,
the best part of the holiday.
Yeah. No, but thank you so much for all of you who have been with us this whole. And I just want to throw out. Okay, so we're recording this. We've got a little over 9,000 subscribers.
Oh, you really are breaking the fourth wall, aren't you?
That's okay.
Okay,
that's okay.
I'm gonna edit all this out.
All right. Well, I was just gonna say. So a year ago at this time, we hadn't even hit 1,000.
Oh God, no.
And it's just the explosion of support, and you. Really, pretty much you folks spreading the word has let us grow this far. So I just want to thank you honestly for helping us grow and for moving us on like that. And yeah, here's to an amazing 2018.
Yeah, like I
100,000.
I can't say it enough. The level of support, the amazing comments that we get constantly, the Patreon support, just everybody in this community has changed my life and only for the better.
Yeah.
I don't want to get all emotional because
I can get emotional
because I feel like on every single litter box episode I practically I come to tears almost every single time. So you don't need more of that from me. But I mean really when I talk to Jeremy, when I talk to you, when I talk to Michelle, like we've really created something here, and you guys have made it like amazing.
Yeah.
Like we bring you content, but you make us feel really good about it. And there's not even any words I can give you right now to express how appreciative I am that you guys are with us all the time.
How about thank you?
Thank you, Works.
Thank you, Works.
Hey, man, 2017 was pretty epic.
Incredible. Yeah.
So thank you again for the Christmas episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. I'm Brian Paul.
I'm Dezrah.
And we'll see you next year.